Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to Answering the Bell with Stormybman for this Sunday, September 10th, 2023. This is our weekly morning call-in show for Sunday mornings. And this is number 90 in the series of call-ins. And we talk a little bit of boxing, a little bit of life, and other things as it becomes relative to what the conversations and subjects are. Appreciate everybody that decided to come out and check out the Answering the Bell this morning. I appreciate you guys. We're coming off of a weekend where we didn't have any major cards, but there were still fights this past week. And ProBox had some fights on, DAZN had some fights on, ESPN had some fights. And some of these bouts that took place were what may be considered minor type fare, but there was still boxing. So there is no need to complain about the sport when the sport is providing activity all around. You just have to know how to decide what you're going to put on your plate and what you're not. There's been a lot of news over the past 24 to 48 hours. We could touch on that a little bit this morning. I have a premiere video that I am suggesting that people take a look at that will premiere tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. And it's regarding Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, what's going on or what may not be going on with that particular promotion. So I'm giving you a heads up on that. That may be something that you want to tune in. And it's not a short video. It's about a 20-minute video. So make sure you set yourself aside some time to listen to it, because I raised the subject of what's the excuse this time? What's the excuse? So check that out, please. Recommend it. So let's see who we got in the building this morning. Big homie Coop was out there bright and early. Says peace and blessings. Sifu, backsmack the like button, people. Class is in session, so please pay attention. And salute to all the family in the chat. Yes, sir. Chi-Town's finest is in the building saying blessings, Stormy. What's good with you, Chi-Town? Drew Titan LLC out there in the gym putting in that work. Says class is in session. Andrew Gray is back with us saying peace. What's good with you? Mike 202, where you been, man? It's good to see you. He says salute, Sensei. Right back at you. 704 Joe is in the building. What's happening? 704. Kano Local Sports is in the building this morning. He says salute to all. Hashtag LDBC. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Kano, I was listening to your conversation that you had on Amanda Serrano and this big benchmark fight that she has coming up, where there will be a return in her fight to 3-minute rounds. That's going to be interesting because you give Serrano 3 minutes to work and she's going to go to work. guaranteed. Yes, sir. The Messenger 215 saying, Grand Rising, what's good with you? King Vonnie is back saying, peace, Stormybman in chat. Right back at you. And Mental Hotep is in the building saying, salute to you, Stormybman. Right back at my Chi-Town brother out there, Mental. What's happening? Good to see all of you this morning. I was listening to a replay of my Three Wise Men of Boxing show that is now available on this channel for members only. Listening to the show that Scrapbook and I did in memorial and dedication to Kurt Sugar. And man, that was a great show. To recall what Kurt Sugar, aka the historian, meant to the community, and to reflect upon what the impressions that he left upon us. It was indeed a good and great dedication to our brother, dearly departed Curtis Anderson, aka Kurt Sugar. And mind you, during this time, I asked extended prayers for our brother Scrapbook Boxing, because he's going through some ailments at this time. I may have more information to reveal, but there's a reason why you haven't seen Scrapbook on the airwaves nor producing anything on his channel. So he's dealing with some setbacks himself of the very serious nature. So, we're asking that everyone pull together in prayer for a recovery for our brother Scrapbook Boxing. I've been holding on to that for a little bit, but it's just that sometimes you don't want to just slam people with the bad news, even though the news needs to get out there. But at the same time, you remain hopeful as well as prayerful that people can take that turn for the better. But we do these things and we do it as a community. And that's why, I take that type of consideration when speaking on matters as such. Yes. So, talking about our beloved sport of boxing. There has been some news in the past 24 hours, 48 hours, but I'm not gonna dive right into that because it's been the talk of everybody. I was actually enjoying a conversation about some of this recent news on Blue Blood Sports TV's channel last night. Salute to Blue Blood, the hardest working man in the community when it comes to putting out this content regarding our beloved sport. Blue had a panel going on his channel yesterday evening, late evening, and they were discussing some of these things that we may be able to talk about today. And I asked if he didn't mind if I joined, and I got on and spoke with them for a little bit, and it was nice to be able to share a little bit of insight, learn a little bit about a different perspective, and seeing these people out here and how we all have our way of conducting and doing what we do. But it's also pretty nice to be able to appreciate others and what they bring to the table. So I came away from that experience very grateful for having shared that time. I actually entered during that particular live stream, like within the last 30 to 40 minutes of it or something. I wasn't in it for the entire show, but they were kicking around some heavy information. I like to acknowledge when people are doing good things, because we hear so much about bad things out here. You have to understand we need balance in our society tremendously. On Friday, I did a video on Christian and Billy, who was having a match, a return to the ring, Friday evening, broadcast on ESPN, live from Canada. And Billy is a 168-pound WBC Intercontinental Champion and #1 contender. And he's a dynamite fighter at the super middleweight division. Very strong, knockout power, courageous, tenacious. And to see him come out there and perform like he did, it's a wonder that they don't talk about him a little more. And I think part of that is because he speaks French. He's from the Cameroon, and he's all business in there. There were some people that were talking about him and saying that he can't box, and he throws the same combinations over and again, and I was like, wow. It's funny how people look at boxing, and I always talk about how I look at it from a different lens. This guy is dangerous, people. If you are a champion like Canelo Alvarez is presently, that's not a person you want to see on the other side of the ring. I'm sorry. He's like a Tasmanian devil in there. And his fight earlier in the year against Carlos Gongora was a bloodletting. Gongora actually hurt him at one point in the fight, but he pulled through the rough patch and beat the crap out of Gongora. It would have taken a regular challenger and contender only about 3 or 4 rounds before they would check out. So Gongora was a heck of a man for standing up to the likes of Christian and Billy. And Billy is a tough hombre. If you put him in there against David Benavidez, Benavidez gets knocked out. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Because David Benavidez will allow you to hit him. You can't allow this guy to hit you. As I said, I originally mentioned him many months ago, and I talked about him being like Ike Abiabuchi, but at super middleweight. And if any of you remember Ike Abiabuchi, he was a Tasmanian devil at heavyweight. So definitely a person that you would want to be careful if you decided to get in the ring with him. And that nickname he has, Solid or Solid, that perfectly describes the gentleman. I'm telling you. But again, he may look limited, but he's not. He prefers to fight a certain kind of way, but he could do other things. He's a little more versatile than what you just see. But I'm telling you, keep your eye out for this man. If he spoke English fluently, you probably would have heard of him already. Salute to Meow G out there in that super chat. He's saying, salute. How would Mbili versus Benavidez play out? I just said it before you wrote it. And you can make sure that you keep that close to the vest. because Stormy said it here first. Huh? Yeah. See, my video on Friday morning said the one man fighter that Canelo Alvarez fears. Now, there's nothing that says factually that Canelo fears the guy. But the title of that video in explanation is, and Billy is the type of fighter that Canelo don't want no smoke with. He fights like Canelo, but he's bigger, stronger, younger, more fierce, more intimidating, more aggressive and tenacious. And his tank doesn't empty. He can go 12 hard rounds and retain his power in the 12th. That's why I said what I said in the video, and that's why I said what I said when it comes down to if he were to face David Benavidez. See, David Benavidez has moments in fights where you can take some advantages. This man doesn't give you that. He doesn't. If anything, when you're in there with Christian and Billy, you better be ready to deal with him, keeping your hands up at all times and being concerned about your well-being. He threw a punch Friday night against Damon Nicholson. That was an interesting shot. It was an overhand left. But he's not a southpaw. And it was a punch that Nicholson didn't even see or expect to be coming, because he had his hands up in a perfect guarding type position. And when he got clocked with that shot, he buckled, and it was like, what the hell? I thought I was covered up, you know? And I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, whoo. Now, I know that some fighters in the past, there's been an association of using Tasmanian devil. But I'm going to tell you something. Christian Mbelly embodies the Tasmanian devil. Yeah. That's a guy who can get in there and take people out. It's like, and it's not like he's Mike Tyson going there, boom, and somebody's out. But he wears on you and he comes on strong like a wave. He doesn't get tired. And he can take it as well as dish it out. And like I said, he has a full tank. He doesn't, you know how guys gas out and everything? David Benavidez has been known to gas out, huh? Not this cat, bro. And he can go to the body too, fiercely. Go back and check my video out that I did on him on Friday, and go to ESPN and look in their catalog for the fight, because it should still be available for a few days since they just fought Friday night. But listen, man, Kinda Loco says, good to see someone other than me believes in Billy. Been telling folks for 2 years that he will be a problem. Hey, Kinda Loco, and you know I respect your eye on boxing, right? You and I are definitely in agreement on that with this guy. He is something. And it's refreshing because you need certain types in the sport of boxing to drive the sport forward. And that's exactly what this guy is doing. He's exciting. When you watch him fight, you'll be wondering, hey, when is he fighting again? I want to check him out. He's entertaining, man. And that fight against Gongora, man, let me tell you something, man. There was a point in that fight where Gongora decided to sit down and try to fight him because he was just coming on so strong. And he caught him a good shot, hurt him really bad. And Billy had to get close and smother the shots, and he tied him up a little bit. But he didn't go down. And he was hurt. Then he came on even more fierce after he got his bearings back. And Goro, you could see like the energy just left his body. Like, oh man, this guy, what the hell? Give me a gun. Shoot. Yeah. Meow G says, I wanted to watch that fight Friday, but missed it since it aired early. No, man. That fight aired late, bro. I think they got into the ring around 10 o'clock or after 10 o'clock. That was an 11 fight card Friday night, y'all. That was an 11 fight card. There was a lot of fights on that night. There was a lot of fights on that night, and I watched most of them. My little scorecard that I make out when I watch the fights, it was 2 pages. Back in, I make 2-sided forms. It's like it filled up my whole page of a sheet. They had 11 bouts on that night, and the co-main was pretty darn good too. They had some good fights on, but see, again, that fight was in Canada, and ESPN didn't do a lot of promoting or anything. But if you like boxing, you would have enjoyed what you watched on that card last night, on that card Friday night, because it was exciting. There was a lot going on, and I'm telling you, sometimes some of these major cards don't have as good as fights on them. So to be able to watch these guys get in there and mix it up and do what they do best, hey. Geo James, what's good with you? I see you. Mal G, let me tell you something about fights that are going to appear on ESPN. One of the things you always have to do is go to their app or their website or whatever, punch in the fight. Forgive me, excuse me, yawning. Punch in the fight and look for the time that it's scheduled to start. When I turned it on it had to be 6:30 p.m. Central Time, my time. There was already a fight going on. So I was like, dang, it's on already? So, and like I said, it was an 11 fight card. I don't even know what number that was I turned it on. But they were getting busy that night, man. Big time. Champion Heart, what's good with you? Good to see you. So yeah, man, that was quite entertaining. I enjoyed it. I really did. I will watch Christian and Billy whenever he comes on. And I would love to. Let me tell you something. He and David Morrell gets knocked out too. Morrell might knock him down and shake him up, but he gets Morrell too. Why? Because Morrell is used to being dominant over other guys, and he's not as experienced as a pro, and he will leave an opening for Billy to get him. And this guy's a finisher too. He gets you hurt. It's just like when some of y'all be going for that last piece of Popeye's chicken, huh? That be in the carton. You be like, hey, it was an 8-piece in there. And then you ask, hey, anybody want this last piece? And you already chewing on it before somebody can respond. Yeah. That's him. Good fighter. Damn good fighter. So, yeah. Yes, sir. But hey, I'm gonna go ahead and open up these phone lines, man. So you guys, you want to talk some boxing with the Storm this morning, do your thing. Call on in and let's talk about it. But Yeah, we're gonna talk about, of course, you gotta talk about Frank Martin. Okay, you know, but again, that's what everybody's talking about. But it's obvious. Gotta say something about it. Tay Tay is in the building. What's good with you? The real queen of MMA, combat, and entertainment. What's happening? She says salute to the chat. A1 Hoop Zone is in the building as well, saying what's good? What's happening with you? Yeah. Man, just to get on in there with Frank. When I got that news, I had taken a nap yesterday, and I'm starting to realize as I'm getting older, it's like a nap is worth it, huh? I took me a nap, man, and I come back from my nap, and it was like Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson is off. I'm like, what? I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me, man. I'm like, what? I was like, wait a minute, this came. Then I went to my news feed, and then, you know, you look at what you know, all the channels you might be subscribed to and everything. All this like Shakur and Frank is out. All of this stuff. I'm like, oh. You gotta be freaking kidding me, man. No. He gonna find it hard coming back from this. He is, because remember when Demetrius Andrade pulled out of his fight against Charlo? Nobody ever let him live that down. And even today, he still can't live it down. You can't be doing stuff like that, man. You can't. Can't be doing stuff like that. Everything was all set. The date was ready and everything. You know what I mean? Can't do that. Rick Hill, what's good with you? Greetings to you as well. 704 Joe says, I'm an old man. I take a nap every day. Yeah, man. You know what? Listen, sometimes it's just like recharging. Right? You know how you got these new electric cars and you got to take them to the charging station? Well, as us older gentlemen, you know, we realize that we have to check in at that charging station as well, huh? We can't just be letting y'all ladies deplete us, huh? And not connect back to the charging station, huh? And when I say deplete us, I ain't even all necessarily talking about physically, emotionally and mentally, huh? It's like, what? You said what? You want to argue and fight about what? It's like, yeah, man. Next thing you know, they putting dirt on top of you. It's no. King Vonnie says, I'm just waiting on more info for Frank. Listen, man, let me tell you something. It ain't coming. This was a bad move. They didn't think things through. And look at how it's playing out. It don't look good, bro. If he came back and said, you know what, I'm sorry, y'all, but I didn't. No, go sit your butt down. F+. F+. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. Had a phone call come in on my personal phone. Champion Hart says, yeah, you welcome to the club. You got to get that nap. Listen, man, there's work I could be doing or I could take a nap. The work is always going to be there, but the chance to nap ain't. Nap time. Not a hard decision to make, you understand? Not a hard decision to make, man. Yeah, man. Listen, that's why they say old folks, you know, they don't be shamed or embarrassed. They just say stuff and do stuff. It's because you don't earn the right to get to that pinnacle where you just decide, you know what? Damn it, this is how I feel. And that's that, you know. But when you're, you know, younger, I'm supposed to be respectful. I'm supposed to be a little more reserved. I'm supposed to this and that. Old people be like, you SOB, I'm gonna, you know. Yeah. It's like, you know. That's like, I was on Amazon yesterday, right? Looking for a new seat cushion for my vehicle because I can't sit too long without the seat cushion, man. I need to have the seat cushion. And you know what's funny? It's like, I laughed at my old man when he had that, you know, when I was young. I was like, he got a little pillow. It's like, shit. I got the same thing. Listen, man. Some things just happen, and some things you just try to be in denial about. I mean, I'm thankful for every year, okay? But they come with presents. They do. That's the only way I'm going to put it. They come with presents. Sometimes the presents are nice. Other times the presents are not so nice. Shoot. Now, you old heads out here in the chat know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't use a seat cushion, bless you, huh? But some of us have to. Some of us have to use the seat cushion, man. Yeah. See Drew Titan out there, he pumping the iron and stuff, running on the treadmill and everything. Yeah, that's cool. But I'ma chill in my lawn chair, nice glass of not too sweet lemonade with ice, huh? And I'ma sit back and talk some mess. Yeah. I've earned that. When I was running and jumping and dunking and doing all that stuff, I thought that was the life. That wasn't the life. It was just what you could do, huh? It was what you could do. But what I do now, I'm one of the best. Chill mode. Chill mode, huh? Cause there's a lot of brothers ain't here no more. They gone, huh? And they never got to chill mode. So I'ma enjoy mine, huh? I got enough chill for all of us. Yeah. Jason Mardonio Misa, what's going on with you? He says, Stormybman, salute. Salute to you. How you feeling? Come on, guys. I got that call line open. Ain't nobody gonna call? Come on, man. We already past 70-something views and only 29 likes, but people be tuning in. What is up with that, bro? Huh? And then won't call. I ain't gonna talk about you. Too bad. Rick Hill says, looks like someone whispered in Frank's ear and told him he should be getting paid more than $1 million to fight Stevenson. First of all this talk about what a fighter is gonna make, man, I wish that crap would go away. It ain't nobody's business other than the fighters what they're going to make when they face one another. But see, with social media, you put too much time and effort into having an opinion, huh? Okay, we got 817 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show.
My brother, Sensei, Stormybman, is champion hard, brother.
Hey, what's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good this morning, man. Thanks for asking. Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Yeah, brother. Definitely got to get that nap, man. I'm great.
Listen, when I was in my early 40s, somebody suggested, it was a family member, you should take naps. You know, you should take naps. Okay, I was in my 40s, early 40s. I'm like 41 or something. I was like, naps? Right. I saw that as like a sign of weakness, you know. It's like, take a nap, man. I'll nap later. You know what I'm saying? Right, and that was like my, you know, it kind of, it rubbed me the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? Like suggesting that I take a nap. All this life out here, all this world to experience. I ain't got time for no doggone nap. Man, let me tell you something now. All you got to do is barely say, "N," and I'm gone. You understand?
I know, bro. I know. I went through the same thing, bro. Same thing, man. I'm like, cat I used to hang with, man. You know, he was the age I am now. He was saying the same thing. I was like, man, I ain't taking no nap.
Yeah.
Now here I am.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, damn. Now I know what he meant. Yeah, man. But I wanted to. I was thinking, man, and thinking maybe the Martin camp realized they didn't want that loss on Martin's record this early while they're building him up. It's probably why they pulled out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, shouldn't you have that type of insight before you even go into a negotiation?
Yeah. You would think that. You know.
This is why it looks real shady. We know that Spence had been talking, you know, like Frank is ready for whoever, right? But maybe Frank didn't feel he ready for whoever, really. You know what I mean? Right. And he might be the one that was like, I don't want to do it, man. And they was like, man, sucker, I done put you out there already, and you what? Man, I don't want to do it. Because you know what? Champion Heart, tell me, is what I'm about to say on the money or not? This is how dudes move in 2023.
Man.
Listen, 78 Sports TV did a great video yesterday where he was talking about the Charlo brothers having beef, right? But he pointed out something. that really went along with what we're talking about right now. He said the Charlos brothers beefing, they're not going to be successful if they can't get their relationship together, because they've been joined through this process as twin brothers. Remember, the night that Mel lost that decision to Harrison, Maul had a shaky performance himself when he fought that night. Remember? And it was like it was channeled energy. This thing with Big Baby Anderson crying with Roy Jones and stuff, and not talking about he don't really want to be a world champion. He just want to make enough money to take care of his family and then go off into the sunset and do some other things. I'm like, you big dummy, you letting people know, you letting the world know you're mentally weak. Huh?
Yeah, man.
And then this thing now with Frank pulling out of a fight that they had made the deal. They had got the date and everything. And then he said, I don't want to do it. Huh? So when you look at this stuff, is it not lining up with these guys of today? Yeah. That one NBA player getting in trouble with the baby mama and all of that stupid stuff, all in front of social media. What is wrong with you? The other NBA player, the guy all catching gun raps and all of this stuff. And it's like he trying to live a life on social media and have followers and stuff. But, dude, you're getting ready to destroy your career. You ain't going to have no damn NBA career. What is wrong with these young folks, man?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's crazy, man. You know, these cats, man, and you know, I mean, it's just not, you know, I mean, you made a good point. It's just not the fighters of this era. You know, it's just this new athlete, man. You know what I'm saying?
These young people, period. The girl walking around slapping people on the street. Then the dude hit her in the face with a brick, and she mad because ain't nobody come to her rescue. You was out there messing with other folks, and I think that's kind of called like karma sometimes. But you just don't mess with folks. You go slap somebody in the street, you don't know what they gonna do to you.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, you can't dictate how someone responds to what you do. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're bold enough to do some shit, you can't dictate how they respond to you. You know, but in that case, I think she was doing skits or something with that shit. But I've seen video of her, you know, complaining about, well, not complaining, but saying how lesbians are the protectors of the community and all this nonsense. And then here she is screaming for black men to protect her when somebody do something foul to her. Well, no, I'll call them lesbians that you say protect the community. You ain't called them.
Listen, man, it's so funny. There's so many examples of this foolishness. Drew Titan got his show, The Pep Talk, right? And a couple nights ago, he had on the show, he played that clip. I hadn't seen it in a while, where the woman was in like I don't know if that was McDonald's or whatever, but she was messing with the people behind the counter. You know, it's one of them belligerent customers or whatever. And she called herself with her, I guess she had a girlfriend. Actually, they were in a relationship. It was a woman with her. She's so bad. She talking stuff to the people behind the counter. She gonna hop her butt behind the counter, and the dude start walking away. And she all in his face and his back and everything. And the dude took a piece of metal, that thing that they pull the gates down with when the doors be locking and stuff. He took that thing and commenced a whooping on her like he was Tiger Woods hitting the ball on the greens, man. And she's screaming, no, stop, please. It's like, more, because she asked for it. You understand? The dude was walking away.
Right.
I remember when that thing happened a few years ago, I was like, whoa, you know, but you don't mess with people, man. But it's like this whole social media thing has got people's brains fried, bro. There's no practical thinking anymore. People say lacking common sense. Common sense went out the window a long time ago. Let me tell you how we know that. Common sense went out the window when you got people complaining about certain things, Like, women want to complain about men, right? They want to complain, oh, these men ain't nothing. My baby daddies ain't nothing. And notice I said daddies. I didn't say daddy. So it's like, but why you got so many baby daddies? Why you ain't got no ring on it, huh? Why you ain't married in a committed relationship and starting a family that way? Why are you letting people taste the milk instead of buying the carton? You know, seriously. So the common sense been gone a long time. But what you're seeing is what's evident as a result of lack of common sense. This is the offspring of that.
Right.
You see?
Yeah.
It's like you have to have what's called, if you ever saw the film The Matrix Reloaded, when the Merovingians said causality. Okay? Causality. Now, causality is a very important thing, because when you start talking about causality, you have to talk about what creates what we're dealing with, huh? And a lot of people miss that. It's the relationship between cause and effect, but at the same time, you have to have things take place. In other words, there has to be a spark. Now, when you see a spark, that lets you know, oh, something just happened. A moment of energy, a burst of energy or something. Now, it could be good or it could be bad. But some people may think it's good because they saw a glare, a flare of light. Some people may think it's bad because when they saw the flare of light, they think something going to catch a blaze. So think about it. There's a yin and yang to this. You have two sides.
Just about to say that. Yeah.
And people will take the bad side most times because they're not using what's called the mental efficiency. They're not. Most men and women in this current life and stage of life, they go off of their feelings and their emotions and everything like that. They're not thinking about down the line, long haul or whatever. And that's why so many people, even in the biblical scriptures, they tell you that their days will be cut short in these times of dealing with issues because they don't have sensibility.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact, bro. Wow. Nobody wants to hear the truth, but, you know, Stormy put it out there because, hey, this is what I do.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. Real quick, man, before I go, speaking of the Charlos, how you calling that fight?
What was that now? I'm sorry?
Speaking of the Charlos, how you calling that fight with him and Canelo?
It's very interesting, especially after I saw 78's video yesterday, because he made me see, this is why I say I look at boxing through a different lens. If you looked at it from the standpoint of just the two fighters, Charlo should be able to box his way to a victory over Canelo. He should be able to. But then there are other aspects that factor in. He's had a long layoff.
Right.
He's coming off of an injury associated with the layoff.
Right.
He's got these issues in his personal life, his brother.
Mentality.
Then it's his image of Canelo. The way he sees Canelo. He has what I would consider a little bit too much respect for Canelo.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if the going gets tough where Canelo turns the heat up on him, will he be able to match that? I'm not so certain, because the areas of where your weaknesses lie can come to a head under pressure. So it's like it's 50-50. But if he didn't have all these other side attractions like the respect for Canelo, the issues with his brother, the layoff, and all, if it weren't for those things, I would be able to roll with him even more solidly. But I got a problem with it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I would not put money on it. I'll tell you that. And then let me ask you this. You saw the first fight between he and Castaño?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, he did a little better in the rematch, but what made it better was that he was able to stop Castaño late, right? But let me ask you this, and just be straight up honest with me. Do you think that Canelo is a better fighter than Castaño?
I think I think he's maybe a little bit, a little step, maybe above Castano. Maybe. I know he got
Canelo is hands down a better fighter than Castaño.
Yeah.
And if he had trouble with Castaño,
right,
Canelo can do what Castaño did better than Castaño.
Now Canelo will gas out, but can Charlo get him in the later rounds for that to happen?
Charlo may gas out because of the size and magnitude of the event. That's one of the things that has always been known to take a fighter's stamina from them that wasn't considered going in. The magnitude of the event. I'm actually in here with Canelo. All these people are against me. All of this pressure. Yeah. You might fight harder than you normally would, warming up, You may throw your punches with a little more like trying purposeful, but it's like all of that has to settle down because it's still, at the end of the day, just another fight. And
see, and that's the thing. Fighting at a bigger weight and walking around, just training at a bigger weight is two totally different things.
Absolutely. And you're in there with a guy who's been doing this. You understand? He's been doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like the more that you start checking boxes, the more you realize that there's an awful amount of boxes checked on the deficient side for Charlo.
Yeah.
Now, Canelo could get old overnight and he could go in there and do some things and bang him, and Canelo body don't respond. And you know what I'm saying? These are my brother Kurt Sugar used to like to call the intangibles. But that's why you have to really lay the land of the law out and look at these things, and don't be so quick to say, oh man, he gonna whoop so and so's behind.
Right.
No. See, I got a couple of breakdown videos that I'm gonna have before the week of the fight, but I've been taking my time with it. But the more and just like with what us having this conversation here, have I not touched on a couple of things that you may not have even thought of?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
But it's a good fight. They should have fought a long time ago. Had they fought a long time ago, he probably would have kicked Canelo's butt back then.
I agree.
But Canelo wasn't ready to
he wasn't ready
to connect losses to these black fighters. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't ready because he lost to Floyd.
Right.
And then he had a close fight with Lara and stuff. And say he didn't want to go in there against another young, hungry guy like himself that could actually do something. And that would have derailed what his plans and intents were.
Right.
So, but if Charlo was able to come in with the same dismissiveness that he had against Tony Harrison in their second fight, I would lean toward him strongly. But I'm just uncertain about these personal issues and everything. But I did realize something about Charlo that nobody's talked about. You know how these guys get all tatted up and everything, right?
Right.
I noticed that Charlo has on one side of his neck, he's got a tattoo of Ali. On the other side of his neck, he's got a tattoo of Bruce Lee. And nobody's ever asked him about this. I'm like, that's interesting.
I never paid attention to him.
That's worth a freaking conversation.
Sure is.
Seriously. You never noticed that?
I never paid attention to those to his stats like that.
Go back and watch his All Access that they just released a couple of days ago on Showtime. On one side of his neck, and they're not highlighting it. You just have to wait till the camera catches him in those positions. Right. But on one side of his neck, he's got Ali. On the other side of the neck, he's got Bruce Lee. And I was like, and then when they showed him in his gym, he's got Bruce Lee on the poster in the middle of his big posters over his ring.
I did notice that.
Yeah.
I did notice
so
that.
If he's a Bruce Lee,
I didn't think anything about it because I've been in boxing gyms and they've got Bruce Lee posters on there as well. I didn't think anything about it, but that's a
conversation piece about his tats because you put the man on your body. You understand?
Right.
That's what I'm going for. It's like, but see, they be asking, oh, what about that jewelry, that new car you got, and stupid stuff like that dude ES out there.
Right.
But no, I'm looking at it for something else. I'm like, you know what? I bet we could really engage in a serious conversation that you decided to put those two men likeness on your body.
Right. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
See, I'm still putting stuff out there that you never thought of, right? It's like,
bro.
Listen, I pay attention, bro. I pay attention. I'm like, you know what? I'm like Yoda, man. It's like I'll sit up and I'll look at things and I'll run it through, like my man Pac-Man Tay like to say, the fax machine. I like to do that, and pay attention to things. A lot of people just don't study up. That's why you always hear me say focus. It's like there's a method to my madness, but it's like some people just don't get it, bro.
Man. Yeah, that's wow. Yeah, I would like to, know why he would do that. I mean, to admire, those two men enough to tattoo them on your body. That's you need to know why you did that. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Man, well, man, let me drag this old body to the gym and do what my brother Drew Titan is doing right now. And we got to, man, you got to let me come on and tell you my Chuck Norris story, man.
Yeah, man, we got to do that. And see, this is the thing. Like tomorrow, we're going to be doing a show. I hadn't put it out there yet, but Godzilla is going to be the feature on tomorrow's show. But the next time we have a spotlight on talking about anything to do with martial arts and everything, that's when we'll bring you on because we want you to be able to be right in the mix of, the flow of the topic and everything. So,
right.
But just, just bear with us. I usually put the topics out the day before of what we're going to talk about on Nerds. So I was going to do that after I did the show today. So, but yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right,
brother.
That'll work, man. All right, my brother. Much love to you, man. Next time I'm home, man, we got to link up, man.
Yes, sir. Sounds good, man.
All right, my brother.
All right, take care, man. Peace.
All right now.
All right, man. Champion Heart out there. Appreciate the call. Lala D, I see you out there. What's good? Woke is in the building. What's happening, Woke? Yeah, who else we got? Lala D had said she wanted to call in today too. So you get a chance, Lala, go ahead and call in. Lines are open today. Dodge J is out there. He says, it was just a video exposing how she did the same thing back in 2020. She was now giving $40,000 through GoFundMe. Oh, man. These people gave her money, man. And they won't even send Stormybman a super chat. And I ain't trying to shake nobody down. Scams. Rick Hill says these crybaby boxers have been fed a bunch of chemicals in the Similac and baby food that makes them cuckoo. That's supposed to be an emotional. Yeah, man. Look at this. 90-something views, almost 100 views, and only 39 likes. I can't even get 50 likes out of this, man. But over 50-something people looking, peeping through the blinds and the bushes. What's really going on, man? What's really going on? Crazy. And my video coming up tomorrow on Joshua and Wilder. You guys are going to need to check that out. And like I said, it's a longer video. It ain't one of them shorties, It's like 20 minutes, but it's a detailed video. Especially when you talk about scammers. Okay, we got 305 in the building. Who's calling? What's on your mind? Welcome to the show.
Hi, Stormy. It's Lala. Can you hear me well on speaker?
I sure can. I hear you just fine. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Just fine.
I caught your live late, so you have to lead with what we're going to discuss. But I'm not very conversant in martial arts. I only can listen.
No. You know, the email that you sent me.
Yeah.
Talking about Frank, you know.
Yeah.
You know, just when you want to give these guys some support or something, then they do these kind of things. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was all set to do a video because they had confirmed that the fight had a date and everything. So I was getting ready. I had all my materials. All I had to do is talk my talk on my video, record my audio, and I took a nap. I wake up and I see this information that the fight ain't happening now. I'm like, man, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah. And a very popular channel posted kind of like an argument as to why was Frank Martin ranked to be able to fight Shakur anyway. And he was pretty much, talking about how he was implying that it was a protection tactic for Lomachenko and Pitbull Cruz. And that might be true, but the thing is, Errol Spence kept calling for this fight.
Yeah,
and,
but
unless that ES guy, unless he was lying, he told Shakur that Frank Martin said he would knock him out. So those two things kind of kill the whole rankings thing as like a setup to put Frank Martin in front of Shakur instead of Loma or Pitbull. We already know those two guys are ducks anyway, though.
Yeah, and this is the other part about it, because like I said, 78 did a great video yesterday where he was talking about the Charlos brothers, and them having beef with each other. They're not talking right now, and Maul has gone down to Pensacola with Roy Jones and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like the turmoil, whatever it is that's between those two young men, if they don't patch that stuff up between them, it's going to trickle over into their professional lives. It is.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I did see that video of from 78, because wasn't he saying that, they're brothers? And they need to, yeah. And there was something else he said that really stood out with me. I forgot what it was. Oh, what was interesting, 78 was pretty much saying, don't break up over no woman. I was when 78 was saying that, I was saying to myself, well, shit, I hope it was a woman and not over Canelo.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was also he tied in some of these other guys, like Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson is now backpedaling, talking about he don't really care to be heavyweight champion of the world or anything. He just want to make some money to take care of his family and stuff like that. Dude, that's a huge sign of an issue there that is bigger than boxing. And you can't be in the boxing ring talking about you don't want to be in the boxing ring. It don't work well. It don't work well together. You can't be doing that foolishness. And then he was crying in front of Roy Jones and stuff. It's like, really, man? Really? Now it appears like all that talk that they were talking about him, beating up Tyson Fury and training and all of that a couple of years ago when Tyson was training for the rematch with Wilder. Maybe all of that stuff was just talk. Yeah. Because you can't be a guy going for the gusto, but you don't have any substance under the hood. I'm sorry. It don't work like that in the sport of boxing.
It doesn't work that way. Yeah, yeah. And, I never thought about this until now, but maybe that was part of the reason why Spence couldn't perform well versus Bud. He started talking more about, remember when he corrected, what's that guy's name? We really like him, the guy who does the interviews, the bald-headed black guy. When he said something and Spence said, I didn't say that. If anything, I said it was about money. And, so if they're getting in the ring and all they care about is bringing home a bag, maybe that's why they're getting touched up. Because if they're trying to be like Floyd also has this desire to be better than everybody. If they don't have that and they only have a desire to get the bag, they're going to get beat up.
That's what I said on Blue Blood's show last night. I was on his panel yesterday evening. He did a show late in the evening, and I was on there, and I talked about these guys, and I gave an analogy. I was like, back in '73 when Bruce Lee died, just like a year and a half later, almost 2 years later, they had all these movies coming out with these Bruce Lee imitators, right? It was like Bruce Lee, Bruce Lowe, Bruce Lee, all of these different, and it's like the movies was making money for the producers that was putting them out, but the guys looked nothing like Bruce Lee. They couldn't fight like him or nothing like that. But the industry changed. It was like they started calling them the clones, the Bruce Lee clones. Well, Floyd, what's interesting is Floyd, people remember him counting all that money, right? And carrying bags of money with him around and stuff. They remember that. But they don't remember when he was whooping people's ass and they were running from him. It's like world champions were ducking Floyd. They didn't want to fight him and stuff because he was good. And they don't remember that guy, Yeah. And it's part of the reason for that is social media was just starting to start toward the end of Floyd's career. Those last 4 or 5 fights that he was having, that's kind of like when the internet and stuff was start, but early in his career, when he was like at featherweight, super featherweight and stuff like that, there was, we weren't watching Floyd like that then on the internet, the social media and stuff. That wasn't around. So they don't remember those aspects of him, but he was very good. When he defeated his first world champion in Gennaro Hernandez, Gennaro said, this guy is going to be really big. He was like, I haven't fought anybody with this kind of talent that this kid has or whatever. He complimented Floyd in the ring that night, when he lost that fight. Floyd actually made Gennaro Hernandez quit. And Hernandez was one of the tougher champions. He was a champion that Oscar De La Hoya didn't want to face.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm just saying, you know, looking back in retrospect. So these guys of today, they saw Floyd counting the money and being in the clubs and burning money. They like, I want to be like that. But they don't want to be a guy with a work ethic who's putting the time in the gym. They didn't see Floyd when he was training in the gym at 3 a.m. and stuff like that. They thought he was at the nightclubs with the strippers and stuff, but he wasn't. And then even when he was sitting around clubs and stuff, he wasn't drinking. He had like seltzer water or something. You know, it was like he was not engaging in the stuff that would harm him as a fighter. Yeah. Emmanuel Stewart has said Floyd Mayweather may be the smartest fighter of all time. Not the best fighter of all time, but the smartest.
Yeah.
And that sets him at a totally different level, because a lot of the fighters are not considered intelligent.
Right.
You see?
Right.
And so these guys today, what they're emulating is like all style but no substance. They're not emulating the substance of guys, which is why if you listen and go back to the old video where Floyd's dad is talking about Devin Haney, and they asked him, what do you think about that kid? And he said, that kid reminds me of my son. He can be just like Floyd.
The determination, yeah.
You see, and that made a difference. That was Floyd's dad saying that. He didn't have to say that. He didn't have to give Devin that type of compliment. He didn't have to. But for him to do that, that means he sees something of substance there with this young man. I see it too, but a lot of people don't want to give it credit for it. And a lot of that has to do with, guess what? Devin's dad is a huge part of his career and his life, has helped bring him along, and has had success. And people don't want to acknowledge that. Even in our community, we hate on our own when they're doing something right. Huh? Mm-hmm. A guy can go away to jail and do 5 years in prison, and they come home and they celebrate him and they be like, yo, man, let's have a good time with it. A guy can come home from college and somebody kill him.
Yeah.
You see how messed up and twisted it is?
Yeah. Yep.
You kill a college guy because he came home, he could come back to the community, show what he did, help build some businesses in the community and everything, show someone the path to go there, but you kill him.
Yeah.
But the guy who was incarcerated, who really needed to be there, locked up, you come home and you celebrating him. How twisted is that?
I know.
You see? But this is the reality. Yeah. This is the reality. So at the end of the day, if Frank decided, I don't think I want to go through with this, what he doesn't realize is it's going to affect his career forevermore going forward. It's the equivalent of Danny Dubois taking the knee against Joe Joyce and then taking it again against Usyk.
Oh, yeah.
It just becomes easier to do after you've done it the first time.
Yep. Sure does. And then I noticed that one of the channels that is heavily here to support Tank, they titled their video, "Now that Frank Martin is out, should Tank fight Shakur?" And I'm wondering, do you guys really believe that's even a possibility? Because I noticed they had titled one of their videos just the other day, "Who should Tank fight next, Shakur or Devin?" And I'm thinking, are they blowing smoke for him, or is he really considering fighting these guys?
Well, first of all, Tank ain't considering fighting anybody. Leonard Ellerby, listen, Leonard Ellerby and Floyd are going to determine who Tank fights next.
True.
Tank ain't got nothing to do with it. Tank may tweet something, but he'll retract it. He may say something, and then he say, I was just talking. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what he does and who he is. He's very uncertain of himself. He's not his own man. He's allowed these people to guide his career, which they're doing it, and they're doing it in the way that benefits them and him. Not him first, but they and then him. And you can tell because that's how they move.
Yeah.
The next fighter that Tank gets in the ring with will be a Latin fighter. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
If it's not, it's only due to the pressure of people coming into the realization of what's happening here. But guess what? The public don't really care that much. They don't.
Right.
And that's why they'll get away with what they can get away with for as long as they will. Devin has moved on, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
But these other guys like Shakur and Frank Martin and all these other guys, they're going to have to decide what they want to do with themselves. And right now, the decision isn't easy because they haven't been walking in their own light.
Yep.
Shakur tried to attach himself to Devin. But you can't attach yourself to a man who's achieving, growing, and accomplishing and gaining goals when you were cutting corners and couldn't even make weight to defend the 2 titles you had when you were at 130. So you lost your titles on the scale, and with the loss of your titles on the scale, what he didn't realize comes disrespect, meaning that no one has to consider you because you weren't professional enough to keep your belts. And so when you went up to 135, you went up there without any hardware, and you were expecting people to accept you for fights and everything, but you had to get in line like everybody else. Devin Haney went over to Australia and faced this man on his soil in a 2-fight deal that sucked. He was tremendously underpaid and everything. They even tried to keep his dad from being able to join him over there. They were pulling all the stops out, trying to make the fights around Ramadan and all of this stuff. They did this to this man. But one thing he had was the commitment to be a professional and get the job done that he felt and believed in himself as far as accomplishing. And he did that. Remember, he came to the scales looking all weak and emaciated and all of that. But he fought, didn't he? He was a professional because he had to make the sacrifice to get what he wanted. Shakur has already shown us, but people haven't seen the keys yet, that he can't do that.
I do think that Haney needed to move up to 140, but I did also think the 25% offer was a low blow. I think a low blow. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but I thought that was a low blow offer to Shakur. But it is true that Shakur, he did.
Hold on. Let me stop you right there, Lala. I want to say this though. You think that it was a low ball offer?
Yeah.
If they don't publicly talk about what fighters make, how do you know what is low ball and what is not?
Well, if you're going by percentage, I'm just looking at it as 25 versus 75, but maybe you're right.
But if you're an undisputed champion, and that person is not even like your number one contender or whatever, and you make him an offer, he could say yay or nay. But you don't have to come on. Look at what Devin had to take. And I'm not saying he did this because of that. I'm just saying,
right.
If Shakur had more leverage with his titles that he lost on the scale, then that would have been more consideration.
That's true. I do think that, that's one of the mistakes Shakur made, was losing leverage.
Exactly. And you can't overlook that. But see, when you say these things publicly, now what happens is a consensus of either support for or support against an entity builds. You see?
Yeah.
And that's what I don't like about these so-called public negotiations. Because all I care at the end of the day, and what you all really should care about at the end of the day, is that the fights get made and they take place. Ain't none of them fighters, unless you they woman or relative, gonna the money that they make gonna do anything for you.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't care if he was gonna make 100 million. I don't. I want to see the doggone fight.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's not my business anyway. That's his business. So why are these people so hung up on the fighters' purses? I don't understand that. That's this new era. And you heard me say earlier in the conversation, and even when I was talking to Champion Hart before, I was talking about these guys and how they have these tendencies to be focused in on the wrong things. And social media wise, you could have 3 million followers. And I said this on Blue Blood show last night. You can have 3 million followers, but when the bell ring, you're in the damn ring by yourself.
Yep.
And ain't none of those 3 million gonna take a punch for you.
Not
real
one.
Talk. And you still have to perform. So I don't know what these people are doing. I don't know what they're thinking. But at the same time, what they make, what you make on your job, is of no consequence or concern of mine. Just like vice versa. But why are these people talking about these men and women's purses, pocketbooks, wallets, bank accounts? Why? Because social media has granted access to people. You know what it's like? It's like being able to go on his Instagram or her Instagram and leave them a personalized message. It's like you know them. They're your friend. Huh? But they don't really fucking know you from a can of paint.
Yeah.
So now I have the right to say, well, he shouldn't date her and she needs to go out with me. You understand? It's like stupid stuff.
Yeah.
78 said it in this video yesterday. This social media thing is messing with people's minds. They have an altered reality view of real life, and it's like it's harming folks. People are actually deleting and being deleted over foolishness.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Like, I'm a Shakur fan, so maybe I have some sensitivities when I hear people speak on him. Like, okay, he lost the Frank Martin fight. People are throwing it up that he didn't take the 25%, and people are throwing it up. I was one of the first people, definitely not the first, I'm sure, but I was one of the first people to go in on Shakur when he jumped in the ring and tried to say Haney didn't win that fight. That pissed me off. But the people are still holding so much against him. Now that he lost this Frank Martin fight, people are attacking him on that. It's like, when can we just see the man, get the fights that he's trying to get fairly? You know what I mean?
Well, he brought it on himself, Lala D. He brought it on himself. And that's the thing. You can villainize yourself, either recognizing that's what you're doing or not recognizing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Remember, he come up to that weight division, haven't fought nobody there, and is thinking that everybody's supposed to respect him like he's an uncrowned champ. No, he was a crowned champ that lost his belts on the scale at the weight below just months before. And we didn't forget that. Huh?
Yeah.
And then when you're trying to attach yourself to this man who has already gone through a lot of stuff, he gave up what promoter he was working with. He gave up his own promotion just to make a deal with another company so they can underpay him and stack the deck up against him just so he can fight for the undisputed title. And he came out on top. And they're still like not liking that. And then they shoved Lomachenko up there because they really thought that Loma might have a chance.
Yeah.
But guess what? Loma wouldn't fight him when he was contending for Loma's belts.
No, he wouldn't.
He wouldn't fight him. But they basically made him fight Loma, even though he wanted to fight Loma anyway.
For years.
But you see the unfair play here, and he still came out ahead. So now you got a guy coming up here in Shakur saying, hey, what about me? You know, I'm the man. I'm this and that. Go sit your ass down, boy. You know what I'm saying? Stepping in the ring and all of that. He didn't step in the ring and say, my man Devin, you did it, bro. He stepped in the ring like, what about me? When I'm going to get my shot? I'm like, dude, that's some real, backstabbing street urchin type crap there.
Well, what really pissed me off was when he jumped in the ring and said, Loma won because he had the clean.
Of course, all of that was a part of it. Yeah, that was a part of it, and that was bad.
Yeah.
And by him saying that, look at all the other people who follow suit. You had rappers and TV actors and musicians saying stuff who don't know a damn thing about boxing, but they're like, Loma did win that and this and that, and I'm like, you guys got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
All of these guys got a personal opinion on boxing now, huh?
Exactly, and they can't name nobody other than Tank, Haney, and maybe now Shakur and Wilder. They don't know nothing else talking about I'm done with boxing. You never started.
Listen, it's just like when Roy Jones said that he felt like Crawford would beat Spence, and Spence said, I don't like Roy Jones because he picked Crawford. It's like, does that mean like now we're bad people because we don't go with you? Like if you like the Chicago Bears and somebody else likes the New Orleans Saints, then it's like, oh, you're a horrible person because you like the Bears and not the Saints, and vice versa. What kind of sense do that make? Whatever happened to being able to support what you like or who you like or whatever? That doesn't mean that you want to see the other person on the ground. That just means that you want to see who you support be successful. But see, again, that's why I spoke about, especially during the Spence and Crawford promotion, that the guys need to stop putting the other fighter down. Mm-hmm. Build him up. Because when you kick his butt, you've built him up and you look better for doing it. But if you put him down, then you cannot expect me to build you up because you were successful. Because the whole time you were telling me the other guy wasn't nothing. So you beat nothing. And so you are not anything because you beat nothing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
And let's take the Bud haters or the Spence extremists. They had Bud as such a nobody that look what happened. Are you saying this guy got beat that badly by a nobody? Yeah, so you're right.
Yeah. And see, part of the reason that it ended up going that way is because somebody wasn't respecting the other person's abilities and capabilities. Because if you're really prepared, you're prepared. And when you're prepared and you still lose, guess what? The better person won. But if you want to try to tell everybody now because things went that way, well, I should have been this and I should have been that. Maybe if I go up to another weight and this and that. But dude, we got it on tape what happened the first time.
Yeah.
Why can't we see the best whenever somebody put their efforts out? That's like when Haney fought Kambosos, the first fight. He looked really drained on those scales. They knew what they were doing to him. They even extended the fight. They pushed that fight along because they knew he would have trouble making the weight. But he made the weight because he's professional. Even when he signed to fight Loma, they was doing the same thing. They tried to push the fight around Ramadan, where the man fasts and all of this stuff. And they were hoping to bring him in depleted so they can take advantage.
Yeah.
But the best thing Bill said early on, he said, we're going to campaign and stay at 135 for the rest of the year. That changed everything because they was like, oh, damn. Well, if he going to stay at the weight the rest of the year, he must be hiring a nutritionist to keep his weight a certain place and everything so he still can maintain his strength. We might as well just go ahead and fight him then. You see?
Yeah.
Mind games.
Yeah.
And you see, now that he's fought the guy, beat him, he's going to go ahead and move up like he was supposed to do to begin with. But he's doing it on his terms.
Yeah.
You have
Now,
to respect a man who does it on his terms.
Yeah. Yeah. What's going on with Rougarou? Why is he still complaining? Is the fight signed or what?
Yeah, from what I understand, they released the information yesterday that the fight is a done deal now, and I think it's going to be December 9th, something like that, and which is cool. Day before my birthday, yeah. But what I'm seeing is that they were trying to find a space and gap where they can optimize the revenue, and that's understandable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That original date that they were looking at, Tyson Fury is fighting that guy from MMA, and they didn't want to bump heads with that. And it makes sense. But at the same time, Regis, he really shouldn't be saying too much because he's getting ready to make the most money he's ever made. But again, you can say what you want to say and all of that, but he should be thanking Devin because Devin is getting ready to bring some media coverage and economic empowerment to him that he hasn't enjoyed at any point in his career.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference in the sport of boxing. If you're looking at it through the proper lens, you have to see this as a business and see it as a form of the entertainment that you like to dial into. But at the same time, there's a certain amount of respect that goes along with what these guys are doing. And it's just like tearing the other guy down at the end of the day, that just doesn't work. It's okay for fine copy. It's okay for sound bites and, can create memes off of stuff. But at the end of the day, like I said, you're tearing somebody down and you get your ass whooped, then, again, if you're successful, why should I pat you on the back if you said he was a bum? Huh? If you say, oh, this guy's going to be my toughest test yet or whatever, then it's like, and you beat him, it's like, man, you overcame, you beat your toughest test ever, that kind of thing. And see, the old fighters and trainers and coaches used to look at boxing like that. These new wave people, they don't. Everybody think they the best. There's only one best. But everybody is the best. Get the hell out of here. No.
Yeah. I don't really see Rougarou beating Haney. I know
He's not going to beat him.
naturally-
Devin Haney going to
Yeah.
outbox that guy. He's going to be stronger. Now, you talk about somebody being stronger at a higher weight. It's because he's been depleting his body. He's going to be able to fight better. And the thing about it is this. Regis is getting older. A lot of people don't he's strong. He got a strong punch and stuff like this. But he still got the arm length of a penguin.
Yeah.
And he going in there against a guy who's got range, reach, boxing ability, mobility. Regis needs you to be planted in front of him in order for him to hit you.
Yeah. I just don't see Rougarou beating Haney. And Rougarou had made a comment about, basically why is Haney holding on to the belts at 135. Now, I'm not always Team Haney, but that's one area where I totally think Haney should hold on to those belts as long as possible because of how hard he worked to get them.
Exactly. You are 1,000% spot on. He can hold on to them for the leverage that Shakur gave up. You understand?
Yeah.
That's why you hold on to them.
Yeah.
That's why you ask the WBC if you could have some type of special agreement that in the event after this fight, if you wanted to go back, you can still do so. See, that's when you have everything in your possession. What's the old rule? Possession is 99% the law or whatever. It's like when you got it, when you got it in your possession, this is deals can be made, negotiations can take place. When you don't have anything, you have no leverage or bargaining power.
Right. And in Haney's fairness, I mean, 25%, it is better than nothing. Again, I didn't like it, but when I think about Keith Thurman, when he had those belts, he wasn't offering nothing. He was just like not wanting to fight anybody.
Yeah, Keith Thurman was sunning everybody and had put the belts away in a vault and stuff. It was like and then every few months he got an injury and stuff. It's like, come on, man. Really?
And then look at what Canelo's doing with the 168 belt.
Yeah. And that's now that's where I would like to really come at Canelo, because they let him do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
He can go up and fight somebody, get his ass whooped, like in the case of Bivol, and then don't go through with the rematch that they had a rematch clause for. Bivol said, I will even fight you at 168. And Canelo said, hell no, I don't want no more ass whoopings. Okay? Yeah. And he ran away from Bivol. He tried to go up to cruiserweight and get Badu Jack to make a deal for him. And Badu Jack said, what kind of deal? And they say, well, we need you to lose about 20 pounds and come in at such and such weight and this and that. Badu Jack said, man, get the hell out of here. Go fight the fight people want to see you fight. Go fight David Benavidez. So he left. Yep. He left David Benavidez out of his considerations. He left Bivol out of his considerations, and he reached down and lowly picked up Jamel Charlo from 154, the damn junior middleweight. You see, and so that means he's still fishing in a shallow pond, huh? He ain't casting his reel out into the ocean. He's casting it into the shallow pond.
Yeah, and he wanted the most inactive Charlo.
Yeah, but that dude is so psychotic. He's not. He can't at this time be declared mentally fit for the ring. Yeah. And the worst part of that is they're trying to force him back into a position to get him a fight under his belt so Canelo can get him. But it's like he can't. He can't, because guess what? He gone. He gone, y'all.
Gone.
I didn't want to say this. But it came out, so I done put it out there. He gone.
Yeah.
Maul is gone, y'all. He gone. And he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back.
If he does, I would be so shocked, but I don't think he is.
When I say he ain't coming back, you have to understand what I'm implying that he's gone from. I ain't said boxing.
You mean his will?
I mean his psyche.
Okay.
And that is the most important thing in life for a person.
Yeah.
He gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're talking about competing in a sport that's one-on-one, mano-a-mano, where somebody punches you in the face upside the head for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And you already got emotional problems. You already got psychological issues and maybe substance abuse as well. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you got to have some kind of substances because you need to take medication to help keep you level. You see?
Yeah.
Especially if you're seeing those doctors. You understand? So, come on. Is it fit for a guy to be getting hit upside the head that's already shown that there's something wrong? No!
Right. Right. And when Caleb Plant slapped him, one thing I noticed, it wasn't the slap that was so bad. It was Maul's lack of any type of reflex.
Listen, for him to even get in a position to have to be slapped by Caleb Plant tells you something's wrong.
Yeah.
You see, y'all just see the reactions. But I spoke early in this show about causality, which is the relationship between an action and a reaction. Causality. The something that makes, it's a kinetic thing that transpires that makes something happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to see that horror show play out publicly, but people are pushing for it. They're angling for it because that's how sick our society is now. I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see it either. Who wants to see a fighter who's been inactive for years and going through all kind of issues? That what is it exactly you claiming you want to see?
Yeah. It's really bad and it's sad, which is why 78's video was important because that's Mel's brother. Now you have to understand, Mel is training for Canelo right now and everything. But he's still, deep down, whether he's talking with his brother or not, they're not speaking or whatever, he's still carrying the weight of that.
Oh, yeah.
And because they are twins, that's a special kind of weight and burden to carry.
Yep.
So,
and when they had it out that time on YouTube Live, Mel was definitely the more passionate one. I won't use the term emotional. He was definitely the more passionate one. Like, he definitely holds on to any kind of unhealthy relationship he has with his brother.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that these things have gone the way they've gone. But it's one of the reasons why the old school promoters used to keep the guys busy. Keep them fighting frequently, so that they don't have a chance to go off rails.
Yeah.
Well, these guys make so much good money now that they could stay inactive for a while, but they still need to remain active because of what happens in their personal lives. That's where the poor mentorship comes from, with trainers and people who are supposed to be a part of your camp to look out for your best interests. Once you bought a nice home, once you took care of your parents, once you're driving the car you've always wanted, once you can dress like you want to dress, what else is there for you to do?
Right.
That's why you have to have people who can put you on track to do other things with your time and interests. And these guys who don't have that get in trouble.
Yeah. Now, one more thing before I go, because I don't want to hold you up too long. Let's get back to Jared Big Baby Anderson, because I really like him. Do you think his issue was always there, or do you think he got hit and it shook him because he wasn't used to that, and now he has a totally different mindset?
Lala D, I want to say this to you. That is one of the most insightful questions that you could ask about this young man, and you are 1,000% correct. The fight with Prince Charles Martin woke him up to the reality that he ain't all that he thought he was made out to be.
Yeah.
And the way it was handled. Yeah, he finished the fight. Yes, he won the fight. Yes, he came back just like a little over a month later in another fight. But that was more for psychological purposes than anything. But you never heard him talk like he was talking post the Martin fight, before the Martin fight.
Yeah.
The reality that he could get got was driven home. I was going to actually do a video on that. But yes, you're right. He got hurt in that fight. He denied being hurt in that fight, because if he were to admit to being hurt in the fight, that displays in his mind a weakness or a show of weakness. But what he doesn't realize is what he has stated has shown more weakness than any punch that he took in the ring could ever do. Because he psychologically now is scarred. Physical scars heal. Psychological scars don't heal. They don't.
True.
And now he wants to get out. But if he wants out, you have to understand that now all it will take is for somebody to help him check out.
Yep.
Did you hear what I said?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's only 23, but did he really think his whole career would be flexing and styling and making jokes out of every opponent he's ever had? Like, that really was a sign of his immaturity.
Absolutely it was. Absolutely. But this is what it is.
Yeah.
Boxing is anywhere from 80 to 90% a mental sport. And when the guys have weak psyches, that drops it drops them off the board of consideration hard.
Yeah.
That kid Danny Dubois, he's done.
Oh, yeah.
He's done.
Yep.
Usyk put him down with a hard jab to the face.
Mm-hmm.
And all that talk and hype that they do over there to their fighters, it's ridiculous what they do to those fighters. They treat them like showgirls.
Yeah.
They do.
Yep.
They hype them and they push them and they prod them and you're the best, you're the next thing, you're the sweetest, this. And they get in a tough situation and their world comes shattering.
Yep. You know what else I'm seeing that I don't like? I'm still a big Cool Boy fan, and I feel like when you get your butt kicked, if you're going to keep posting on social media, what's the shame in posting you in the gym getting better? Like, just keep posting, showing people that you're in the gym sparring, trying to get better. Do you know that Cool Boy is on Instagram doing what Danny Garcia does? Every time Danny Garcia gets his butt kicked, he starts posting himself in a new toy or nice new Versace clothes or his land. He starts flexing everything outside, everything that the money provides, but nothing to do with boxing. And to me, to real boxing fans, it looks weak. Like, what is it you're trying to sell us? You know, that you're happy getting your butt kicked? And, like, I noticed that Cool Boy, he's posting himself in these nice whips and these nice clothes. I wish he would post himself in the gym.
That's because the gym is not the feature for him.
Yeah.
Bud Crawford was right back in the gym after his victory tour of interviews and stuff. He's back in the gym training.
Yep.
And even with the unfortunate situation of what happened to Bomac, he's back in the gym. That's a professional.
Yeah.
We've seen so many other fighters like Boots Ennis back in the gym. Right after a victory, he take a couple of days off, and then he's back in the gym.
Back in the gym, yep.
You see, when you're working at your craft, you don't have time for the bad things to settle in mentally and psychologically and things of that nature. When you don't do that, idle mind is a devil's workshop. And that's what happens with a lot of these guys.
Yep. That's true. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. That's one of my favorite movies, Just Cause. Ed Harris said that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because at the end of the day, if you're being productive, even a minimum amount of productivity, you can feel better about yourself. You can feel better about what you're doing. And guess what? That's positive kinetic energy. You project that to the universe and it's received. And guess what? More can come to you.
Yeah.
I'll give you a simple example of it. This morning, I got up early, shaved and haircut and, went to the store, went grocery shopping, then ate breakfast and everything, came ready for my show. And when the show kicked off, I was good. You know what I mean? Energy level was up and everything. I've had some days when I start my show and I have to get going. But today I was already going because of how I kicked the day off. It makes a difference. You know what I'm saying?
Does.
So this is why I can say these things, because I live them. You know what I mean? It's not no great insight. It's just that I recognize and understand how I need to operate within that.
Yeah.
But if I'm a coach or a trainer to some fighters, I want to also project that onto them so that they understand that you, at the end of the day, are in control, but what you're controlling is very important as well.
Yeah. Yep. I started to comment on Cool Boy's post. You need to get in the gym, but I didn't want to get blocked.
Yeah, because these old sensitive dudes, they will block you over some of that stuff. It's like, even though you're only speaking words of encouragement, but they'll take it the wrong way because they be like, who does she think she is, or whatever.
Yeah.
But that you could tell that nobody's telling him what he needs to hear, huh?
Yeah.
It's like, come on. But you're right when you made that comparison with him and Danny. That's exactly what they do. But imagine their possessions, the material, be snatched away. Who would they be then?
Right.
That would tell you everything.
Yep. I remember when Gamboa, I know I talked about this so many times, when Gamboa lost to Bud, the first thing he tweeted was, "I'm really sorry to all my fans. I really did try my best." I was like, wow, what a nice thing to send out to your fans.
Yeah. It does make a difference when, again, like a little positivity goes a long way. It really does.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I watched for the Spence Crawford promotion. I watched their press conferences and I watched the All Access, but I didn't watch all of those interviews and stuff that they did until like after the fight. I kind of went back and started watching stuff. Like, even though I watched the weigh-in, I didn't see Bud come in rapping and singing the song and stuff on stage. I only saw when they got on the scales. I don't know how I missed all of that. But what was interesting about that was, you see what that positive kinetic energy does? It can take a person and put them in a great place. Yeah. And it reminded me of like when Holyfield and Tyson was fighting, the first fight. Holyfield was in the locker room singing gospel songs. And he came to the ring. On his ring walk, he was singing gospel songs. And he carried that wave, he rode that wave of energy on through the fight. Because that was him. That was who he was being himself. But you see, when a person can do that, they can elevate or be elevated.
Yeah.
This is why fighters really need to hold fast to something and not just be, you can't tie it all into money. You can't, the material is the last thing you want to think about, consider, or whatever. Because the money can change some things in your life, especially if you're a person of dire straits. But your accomplishments should be what really change you. The fact that you realize and recognize, oh, I was able to accomplish something when people said I couldn't, or when I wasn't sure or certain, and now I did it. It gives me more confidence to want to do more. I feel like I'm motivated to take the next step. You see what I'm saying? That kind of thing. But we don't have enough of that right now because social media absorbs all of our energies.
Yeah.
It's just that some of us can handle it better than others, but the ones who aren't handling it well, it's like you could see the end results, and it's bad. It's really bad.
Oh, I got to tell you the story real quick, Stormy, before I go. So I follow a fashionista on YouTube, right? She's located in Houston, and she's all about fashion and, showing off her new whip and her expensive stuff. But she also tries to show a more grounded person who everything doesn't have to be expensive. But I noticed that she is starting to kind of pretend she's into certain things that you could tell she's not really into. So she was at a tank fight, right? And the most important thing to her was that she was in a seat where she saw celebrities in seats that weren't as expensive as hers, right? That was her big claim to fame, being at the tank fight. So I'm like, she's not a real boxing fan. Why is she looking around to see who has less expensive seats than her? Like, how petty is that? So on her next video, she was talking about how she really loves boxing, but she couldn't name anybody. But wait till you hear this, Stormy. I almost emailed you about it. Do you know this woman met Tommy Hitman Hearns and didn't know who he was? She had to ask Tommy Hitman Hearns who he was. Oh, and I forgot to mention, she's in her 40s.
Well, she's looking at the wrong things, obviously. That's been pointed out.
I couldn't believe it. Who gets in Tommy Hitman Hearns' face and ask him
all I can say is, there are people out here who want to catch, they want to catch glitter and stardust off of somebody else without working for it for themselves. It's like, like I've been around people who just want to be next to somebody famous or, whatever. I never been compelled. Like, how you see people run up and say, oh, there's so-and-so, I want to get their autograph. It's like, why would I want his autograph? I don't want his autograph. You understand? Yeah. Unless I was getting an autograph to like get to my kid or something. You know what I mean? Then that's a little different. But me coveting, I've actually had people, I've been somewhere public and I walk into a place and somebody look at me and be like, they give you that look like they're trying to figure out if you're somebody important or not. You know what I mean? I know what that look is. I've seen that look because I've seen them when they look at other people who are famous or whatever, and they be trying to say is like, is that somebody? But I've never felt that. I never felt like that or whatever. In fact, when I've been around famous people, that's kind of like when my mindset kicks in to see, let's see how normal this person really is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was observing you when you was on the live with Drew Titan, and you guys had Roger Mayweather on there and Too Sharp on there. That was when Roger said to him, "You sharp. I don't know about Too Sharp." That was so funny to me. I don't know why, but you were real, like, calm, cool, and collected.
Oh yeah.
He told him, "You sharp. I don't know about Too Sharp." I just thought that was so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. And it's funny because, on that show we've met some of the big names in the sport and stuff. It's like, but you'll find, like, when I start talking to those guys, and of course if we're talking about the sport of boxing, it take them like 2 seconds to realize, oh, okay, this guy kind of knows what's up, and that's not nothing with ego. It's just that being observant and being involved and knowing. But go ahead.
I just realized I accidentally said Roger Mayweather. No, the other uncle. What's his name?
Jeff? That's
Mayweather.
Jeff. Yeah, Jeff Mayweather.
Yeah. It was him.
Yeah. Well, that's like, if you remember, if you were watching this particular episode when this was like, what, a year or two ago, it was almost a year and a half, 2 years ago, when Drew had on Blu-ray, and they were talking about, they got on the subject of Spence one day fighting Crawford. And Drew was telling him, yeah, Stormy thinks that, Crawford beats Spence. And he was like, oh, yeah, and he was like, and I was like, yeah, man. And when we were talking, he asked me some specific questions, and I answered his questions, and I was like, listen, man, this is not a fanfare type thing for me. It's like, I can tell you why that I think that Spence loses the fight. But I told him, I said, what you can do is you can go to my channel and look at some of my content, and you'll recognize, from what position I speak from. It has nothing to do with me being against Spence, because I've made positive videos about Spence. I've covered his fights. It has a lot to do with my understanding and breakdown of the sport of boxing. And Blu-ray went to my channel and he subbed. He subbed to the channel. So, again, this is not a thing of like tearing down, but it's about building the understanding of everything.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But man, you know what, Lala D, this is, unless you got one more thing you want to talk about, that's fine, because the time has gone so fast today. It's like it's been 2 hours already.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I start the show at 10:30. It's a 2-hour show. It's 12:30. I'm like, dang. But we were cooking today. All of us, me, you, Champion Heart. It's like it was a great show. But see, that's what happens when you bring that type of energy. Remember, I was saying that's what happens when you can project that and it goes out into the universe.
Yeah, absolutely. One more thing before we go.
Mm-hmm.
When Shakur was in the ring with Haney, I remember you would think Haney would have been like annoyed that Shakur was in the ring or anything. All Haney cared about, he looked at Shakur and said, "I'm number one."
Yeah. Because you know what? Because he's gone through some stuff. See, this is the other part that other fighters. Regis Prograde is getting ready to find this out about Devin. It is hard. What is Devin now? 25? How old is he?
24, 25.
Yeah, 24, 25. Okay. It is hard when you haven't really accomplished anything to have a great deal of confidence. But when you have accomplished some things and you've gone through some trials and some rigid circumstances, it helps to build your character. Mm-hmm. Devin has won on the road. He has won with the deck stacked against him. He has won when people didn't think he could do, but he did. He has fought for less when he should have been paid more. He has taken a deal that he didn't want to take in order for something to happen in favor of his accomplishments and achievements. He has set a precedent for himself of excellence. Mm-hmm. So he reserves the right to be confident that he's capable. Definitely. And he can get the job done. Now imagine taking that into the ring against Regis Prograde, who is a 2-time champion, but also a guy who lost his title on the road.
Yeah.
To a guy that I remember, like I said it yesterday, when he was going over there to face Josh Taylor in that tournament, I said, in order for him to come back successful from that fight, Regis is going to have to do something that he hasn't done before. He's going to have to come outside of himself, meaning like whatever his comfort zone is, he's going to have to discard that to go over there and take victory away from Josh Taylor. And he didn't do that. The fight was close, but you can't deal with it being close when you're on the other guy's land and in his backyard. You have to take it from him.
True.
Well, he didn't do that. And now, after a few years, he's a champion again, but he's a little older and time is slipping because he's 33 or something like that.
Around 33-ish, 34, 33.
But he's getting ready to fight a guy that, like I just said, when you look at those, and my brother Kurt Sugar used to call them the intangibles, they stack mighty high and in favor of Devin because Devin is still the work in progress. And Regis is the work that's coming to completion. Two different things.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But I'll definitely catch you on time next week.
Yeah, you're always a great call when you call in, Lala D. You can talk some good boxing. I give you that.
Thanks.
And I appreciate you supporting and calling in,
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, well, don't be a stranger. Make sure you call again and, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. You're still here in the Shy, right?
Sure am.
Yeah. What's the latest good place you've had something to eat from?
Let me think. Oh, it was a soul food restaurant downtown. Oh my God, I forgot the name of it. But somebody on, I think, Instagram had highlighted it. It's like it's kind of blue on the outside, and on the inside is a lot of blue lighting. I can't believe I forgot the name of it. But I knew I would trust it because it was a soul food restaurant, young black people, and I knew that they were clean cooks and, the stuff that scares me that I hear about these other places. And the food was very, very good. I don't know what it is with a lot of soul food restaurants. It's like 2 things will be excellent and the third thing will be way off. Everything was good. The mac and cheese, the sweet potatoes, the chicken, everything was good. I'm going to get the name and send it to you.
Yeah, please do, because if it's someplace that I haven't gone, that's all I got to do is get ready to hit it up. So
yeah.
Yes.
And I'm also going to send you a link to a lady on Instagram. She's in Chicago. She caters and she posts her food, and then she tells what areas of Chicago she'll be in. She operates out of the west side.
Yeah.
And she will travel to the north side. I think she'll travel to the south side, I think. And she pretty much will go to a lot of parts of Chicago. The only thing is I don't know her hygiene, but I don't think anyone has gotten sick based on any comments in her comment section. But I said I was going to give her a chance one day. You can't be scared of everybody.
Right. Yeah, that sounds great too.
She can cook. Storm, you should see her food. Oh my God. And the reviews, everyone says her food is amazing.
Okay. Well, I look forward to that as well. Because, me and eating have a great relationship.
Yeah. Chicago has such great dining. Wow.
Yeah, Blue told me he's coming to Chicago soon. He said, when I come, I'm going to hit you up, Stormy. I was like, great, because, I'm going to take him somewhere and get him some of that good old Chi-Town pizza. It ain't going to be no deep dish either. It's just going to be some thin crust, good pizza, and blow his socks off. I told him.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, that's what's up, man. That is what's up.
Yeah. He might like one of these car shows they have outside of Chicago, too. I don't know.
Yeah.
The guys at my job love going to those car shows.
I know. It's some great ones around town. It's some great ones. When I used to be into cars, I was into that. But it's like I kind of like gotten away from that now. But, yeah. This is a great place, especially when the weather is great. It's like this is a great place to, really enjoy, like what hobbies and interests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We got great museums here, cultural places, great ones.
Yep, great ones, real great ones. I got out of the habit of running to the south side all the time for their restaurants and cuisines, just because I was like, well, maybe it's not wise for me to keep running there. And then my plates had the nerve to say Connecticut. So I'm like, I kind of chilled always running to the south side. But another restaurant Blue would like is Jerk 48. I can definitely speak on them. They're real good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, what side of the city did you settle on? Are you on the north side?
Yeah, I'm on the north side.
What area?
Do you know Edgewater, Andersonville?
Yeah, I used to live in Edgewater.
I'm right here.
Listen.
Right here, North Broadway and Foster.
Listen, I used to live right off of Foster and Sheridan. I used to live right over there.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I was over there, they had it was like a, what was it called? Dang, I can't even think of it now. But the grocery store that Dominic's. It used to be a Dominic's right there on Foster and Sheridan, but they changed it into, what is that, a Margiano's or something. It's something different now, right at
I think
Foster
it
and
is
Sheridan.
Marciano.
Yeah, it's and McDonald's is on the other corner. And I lived over there for a long time, Lala D. That's why KQKC was saying like Stormy from the north side, but I was born and raised on the south side. But I lived on the north side for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Southside is huge.
Oh yeah, the south side is like, and there are different grades of the south side. It's like there are some places on the south side that are like, traditional and long-standing. Like a lot of the time you had Nation of Islam people that lived within a certain area, Muhammad Ali's old mansions and stuff, all of that stuff. I lived where I could walk. That was all walking distance from me. And then there are other places, like, of course, you got Inglewood, and then you go further south, it's like, it get bad. And it's like, but Chicago is huge.
Yes.
It's huge.
Very.
And there are some people who don't even go outside their neighborhoods. That's how big Chicago is. Yeah. It's like crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
But when you said, Edgewater, I'm like, I used to work over there and live over there. I could walk to work in 5 minutes. That's how, it was pretty cool. For the longest time, I lived over there.
Yeah.
Close to the lake.
Yep.
Now, I'm trying to think of the name. On Clark Street, there's a, there was. I ain't been over there in a long time, but if it's still there, there's a restaurant that's, dang, what's that? It's like, I want to say like Lebanese. Trying to think I can't think of the name of it right now, but there were a couple of places I used to frequent. It right between Foster and Berwyn. There's some nice restaurants.
There's a Lebanese. There's a big old like Lebanese style, Middle Eastern style bakery, and then across the street there's also a Lebanese restaurant that's like has a red and white awning. I've never been in there, but you might be talking about one of those places or nearby.
Yeah, the one that's on the east side of the street. It's really big. That place has some great food in there. If you ever get a chance to go in there, do so, because great. Okay. I just can't think of the name of it. And then, of course, they've got the restaurant that's next to them. What's the lady's name? It's a lady's name. The name of the restaurant.
Not Sheba.
Because she has more than one location. I think she's got 3 locations in Chicago. There's one on Belmont. There's one right there on Clark Street, just north of Foster on Clark. What comes to my mind is like Fannie Mae candies, but it's not Fannie Mae, of course, because Fannie Mae is the candy store. But the restaurant I can't think of the name right now because I haven't been there. I can't been there in over 10 years. But that place has been around for a long time, and you can always get traditionally good food there. So, like I said, I'm a foodie. I know where to go. Huh?
Are they across from the Walgreens?
Yes.
With a blue awning. I think, is it Greek?
No, this is not Greek.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the name of the restaurant. See, because when I last lived over that way, we're talking about like 2008, 2007. And because I haven't been over there in so long, it's like I forget the names of places. You know what I mean? But I used to just walk through the neighborhood because parking is bad anyway. It was like I go over there and, But there's some
Yeah.
nice places over there. There's a nice neighborhood restaurant.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And then on Broadway, just I want to say Broadway before you get to Argyle, because you know Argyle is like Chinatown, right?
Yeah, it's like the Vietnamese people.
Yeah. All right. Well, on Broadway, just before Argyle, there's the Sun Hua restaurant.
Yep, Sunwa. It's right near a bank.
Yeah. Have you been there?
No, but I always see.
Lala D, you got to go there. Sun Hua has some of the best Chinese food. I mean, they're known for they're famous for their duck there, the roast duck.
I always see their duck in the window.
Yeah.
It's like right near the corner. Yep.
Man, that is some good eating there. Oh my goodness. You have to try Sun Hua.
People going there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's a place like you could go, family and friends, have a meal. A lot of good things on the menu there, and the food is clean. That place has been there for many years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm walking distance to them too.
Yeah. So make sure you check them out. And a key for understanding those other restaurants that are over there in that area, because like you said, there are a lot of Vietnamese and Chinese places there. The ones that's just right there on the corner of Argyle and Broadway, if you look in there, you see all those Asian people eating in there. I'm telling you, that's the key to let you know that that's the authentic Asian food, because they're eating just like they're eating out of their kitchen in there. That's just like with black folks. If you go to a soul food place, right? It's like if you see a bunch of black folks up in there, the food gotta be good.
Yeah, like when I was going on the south side, the lines were going around the corner. I said, I'm getting in this line.
Yeah.
With my big old Connecticut license plate.
Yes. So. But yeah, I'm glad that you're settling in and enjoying some of the cuisine from around town. We're gonna have to hook up and meet up someplace for some food, because I'll tell you, I'm definitely a foodie. That's straight up. Stormy loves the meals. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Okay, definitely. Before it gets too cold too.
Oh yeah.
Even though you got to eat when it's cold too, but.
Yeah, but you know what? There's so many places, though. There's a lot of places. And it's like, man.
When I was downtown, as much as I love downtown, I went into the Starbucks, because, we have the world's largest Starbucks. And it was full of tourists. I was like, I don't really belong in here. This is touristy. And I got like a slice of pizza and something. And I was like, oh, my God, these tourists, I hope they don't think this is representative of Chicago food.
Yeah. Yeah. But have you had pizza anywhere on the north side that you liked?
Yeah, I had one that I really liked called, oh, my God, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's thin crust, and it's Chicago style. And I think is it Lenny's or Larry's? Or Timmy's Pizza. And then there's another one. I also had really good experience with what's that one? Even though they're more known for their deep dish, I had some really good thin crust at Lou Malnati's too. And I've also had, there's another one that people really like here. It's Antonio's, and it's in that area. Is it Lincoln Park? But yeah, there's a lot of good pizza around here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Chicagoans a lot of times like to cut theirs into squares.
Right. And that has only started happening, I think, since the early 2000s.
Oh.
But that's, cutting them into squares. Before the early 2000s, I'm talking about maybe 2002, 2003, we had a couple of places open up, and one of the things they started doing is like instead of making the pies round, they would make them rectangular and stuff like that. But yeah, a lot of good, a lot of good pizza places here though. That's why I was telling Blue Blood that it's like not just that deep dish stuff. It's like we have some pretty good places with, thin crust. If you're not a meat lover, that you could still get, great pizza that's, doesn't have meat on it. So
Yep.
So yeah. All right. Well, good chat there, Lala D. I appreciate you tuning in and calling in to the show today. This is the second time that you called in and brought us home with it. Because when we were talking about getting off, that was like 30 minutes ago, and you see how the time just flew? It's like
I know.
Another 30 minutes. So, yeah, that. It's been a great time here. I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, you too.
Okay, well, you take it easy, and we'll catch you next time, all right?
Okay, and another place you can bring Blue, I haven't been there myself, but Chicagoans gave it their stamp of approval. It's that place called Maxwell on the south side, I think.
Maxwell's.
Yeah, I think they do Polish sausage type food.
Oh, you're talking about Jim's. Yeah, that's on Maxwell Street. Yeah, that's the old Polish sausage place. It's been there. Oh my goodness, for over 50 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's two spots. It's like one is near the expressway, and the other one is a few doors down. But yeah,
okay.
They have the grilled Polishes and stuff, and burgers, and yeah, they've been around a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that they're like a real beloved place from Chicago.
Yeah, because that's like you even if you go to the grocery stores now, you can buy packs of Polish sausage meat that will say Maxwell style on the package and stuff, because they've made that so famous there. Because they grill those onions, and they put those hot peppers on the sandwiches. Oh man. Yeah.
And there's a Chicago-owned joint now in Houston where they named one of their hot dogs the Maxwell, and the review was really high.
Yeah. Maxwell style Polish is like, it's a Chicago staple.
Yeah.
I usually hit the spot because I have to pass near there on my way to work. I usually hit the spot at least once a month. But I haven't been there in a while, so it's been a couple of months since I was last there, but I do like to hit the spot at least once a month. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, I'll definitely catch you. I'll make sure I call in one of these upcoming call-in shows. Within the month or so, we'll get a good topic.
Sure, absolutely. All right. Well, you take care, Lala D. Great talking to you.
You too. Take care. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that just about brings us home. We had a great call-in show today, and we didn't even get a chance yet to talk about Canelo versus Charlo, but we still got time, because that fight is on the 30th of this month, the end of the month, and I'll have a couple of videos coming out about that fight, and we'll see what happens. But yeah. Let's see. So we had a few people come in there while we were chopping it up. We had Andrew Gray, Dank Father, Sylvestial, Learn, Judah Ben Israel, Grand Regent Thrag, all of you guys. I appreciate everybody that came in. We had a very fulfilling show today where we were able to talk, and the time just went by. It's like, my goodness. But it's a great day. Let's see here. Trying to get my... Let's see here. I'm gonna, before I get up out of here, gotta show my man Focus Ball his trailer here. Let's see.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the Focus Ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a Focus Ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a Focus Ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a Focus Ball. When you train with the Focus Ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit. Making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the Focus Ball now.
It's been a nice Sunday. I want to say thank you to the Jab Jamboree, my man Ack Reacher out there with the donation to the Super Chat. We appreciate you, Ack. Good to see you out there this afternoon, brother. Yeah, good to see you. But yeah, it's been a great show. It's been a great show, and I'm just in a really, really good place with the type of show we've had this afternoon. It's just about lunchtime, so Stormybman gonna have to get him some food. All that talk with Lala D about some food, we gonna have to get it going. So we appreciate the opportunity to come before you guys again. I want to say shout out to the mighty LDBC, and you guys don't forget to check out that video I got coming tomorrow morning talking about what's the excuse this time with AJ, not facing Deontay Wilder. What's going on? What are they trying to do? So just know that I'll be on top of it. So appreciate everybody. Have a great Sunday afternoon, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.